Project 613, day 32. We are still learning the mitzvah of the recitation of the grace after meals. After we eat a meal, the Torah tells us we should thank God and bless God for that meal. The definition of a meal which requires grace after meals is when we eat bread that is baked from a flour of a specific 5 grains. We need to recite the grace after meals after that. What about beforehand? So the Torah does not give us any type of specific mitzvah in connection with mealtime other than the grace after meals. But our sages instituted that before a Jew eats bread, they should wash their hands, Netillat Yadayim. Netillat Yadayim has nothing to do with hygiene. If your hands are dirty, go and wash your hands with soap, and then you're ready to eat. But for a Jew, before eating bread, we have a special mitzvah of ritually purifying our hands. And this is how the ritual purification happens. You take a cup, and you fill it up with water, and then you pour that water 3 times on your right hand, and you try to cover your entire hand until the wrist. And you hold your hand in a way that when you pour the water from the cup onto your hand, the water is going to wash, it's going to cover the entire hand. And you pour that water 3 times consecutively on the right hand, and then you take the cup and you pour 3 times on your left hand, which means that this cup should be large enough to hold enough water to cover your hand, both of your hands, 3 times. So 3 times on the right, 3 times on the left, and then we recite a blessing. Asher kedishanu b'mitzvaysa v'tzivanu, who has commanded us with his commandments and commanded us to wash our hands. Netillat Yadayim. Netillat Yadayim actually means to elevate our hands. After we say the blessing, we dry our hands and we are ready to eat bread. The source for this mitzvah, the source for this custom or observance before we eat bread, comes from the temple era. During that time, Jews had the obligation to give a certain portion of their grain to the Kohanim, to the priests that worked in the Holy Temple. And this was how the priests of the Holy Temple had what to eat. But this grain, which was later turned into flour and became bread, was holy and needed to be eaten in ritual purification. And before a Kohen would eat that bread, they were obligated to wash their hands in that specific way with a cup, and they would wash it 3 times on the right and 3 times on the left, in order to be prepared to eat teruma, which was this holy bread. And so King Solomon instituted that in order to ensure and to preserve the sanctity of this bread that the Kohanim eat, all Jewish people, before they eat bread, are going to do the ritual washing of Netillat Yadayim. And so today, when we do Netillat Yadayim before starting a meal, we're actually training ourselves, training the entire Jewish nation for an era when there's going to be this mitzvah of teruma, of this ritual holy bread that will be eaten by the priests. May it happen very soon. Thank you all for watching.